thanks so much for joining us. If you're a camera buff, you're going to love this. My guest is Jesse Thompson from Milford Camera, which was
Milford Photo.
Which was Milford Photo. First camera, right? Then it went to photo. So tell me about the history of that.
Sure. Well, you know, there's been a camera store in downtown Milford for almost 60 years now. And myself and my business partner, Jim Wilson, we worked at Milford Camera. And then literally...
As little kids?
I was a little kid. I was a paper boy, and I got tired of the weather. And so I said, I need a nice, cushy inside job, and, you know, got a job at Milford Camera sweeping floors. And it was really a good time there, about 17 years. And then Jim and I opened Milford Photo across the street, and in 1995 we incorporated. And Milford Photo is still there, 22 River Street in downtown.
All right, so I called you up and I said, Jesse, in the age of this thing, you know, the iPhone, where everybody's taking their own videos and photos, how have you been able to stick around and be relevant? Because there's not a lot of folks like you around. In the state, how many camera shops like this are there? Do you know?
You know, I think there's 3 or 4 you know, interest in camera stores left. And when I started, we were part of a group that there were 30 to 40. So yeah, there aren't as many of us around, and we are lucky. We are aggressive and smart, I think.
How are you aggressive? What have you had to do to stay in business as long as you've been in business?
Well, certainly it's comes down to a certain willingness on the part of ownership, particularly Jim Wilson, my partner, to, you know, be assertive and spend the money when money needed to be spent. For instance, when film went away to digital, you know, machines and technology needed a huge upgrade, and that was a big nut to carry, and we made that decision, and he went forward, and you know, it's proven to, you know, be a lasting effect on our business.
So who comes in your door these days, in the era of iPhones? Who comes into Milford Photo?
Yeah.
And what services do you have now? And we're going to look at these cameras too.
Sure.
But, so what do you provide now that is working?
Well, certainly phones are a fact of life, and they've taken away the undercard, the point-and-shoot market, even some entry-level interchangeable lens cameras. So what's happening is that we're seeing more of the hobbyist, the amateur, the lover. We don't see anymore the folks that used photography on a day-to-day basis, like realtors, insurance adjusters, even, you know, law enforcement people. So we don't see them anymore. The people we do see are highly motivated. They're willing to spend if you give them the time and the attention. And these are people who are weekend photographers, or perhaps people that, you know, are going on a big trip, or their kids play sports. That's a big one, because oftentimes you have people that want the big telephoto lenses, and that's what these cameras do. They deliver images that you can't get with a phone, no matter how good it is.
Speaking of the phone, we all have thousands of images on our phone. My thing is, nobody's printing out photos anymore, or are they? And if they are, let's talk how you do that.
Well, you know, I brought a couple of paper samples tonight, and these are higher-end papers, so you're right. Not as many people are making 4x6s anymore, but the people that we do get in are, you know, moving more and more towards these heavy bond.
So this is bamboo.
That's made from a bamboo weave.
Yep.
It's fantastic looking paper. This is called Barita. It's got a silver tone to it.
Lasts for a long time?
It does, yep.
Okay.
It lasts as far as we'd be concerned, sure. But I mean, it's beautiful paper, and it really ups the game. So if you come in and, you know, you've got pictures that you've taken a trip and shots of a lifetime, it's not just glossy and matte paper anymore. This is really a fine art, museum quality kind of material, and we print it.
So you also rent equipment? We
do. We started renting a few years ago, and we're always kind of growing the fleet.
Is this part of that fleet right here?
You know, the larger telephotos,
the
600s, you're drawn to the...
Yeah, the Mickey Mouse, of course. So I'm a novice when it comes to, so you're going to have to teach me a lot here. What is this camera used for, and what's it called?
Well, of course, that's a Mamiya C3.
Of course it is.
There you are. It's shot probably everybody's wedding back in the 70s, 1970s. But, I mean, right now, what we've seen is a bit of a resurgence in film. You know, it's not like it used to be, and it never will be. But my average film client, which I'm really stoked about, is about a 24-year-old person.
Really?
Who just wants to you know, they get their dad's camera or their, you know, grandfather's camera, you know, because back in the day, guys took pictures, and they had these old cameras like this. And this is one that we rent for, you can rent it for a week and shoot some medium format film. It still takes fantastic looking pictures. But most of what we rent, like what we sell, is all digital. Gear that maybe you're not sure about, you want to test it out. You're a birder. You want a long telephoto.
All right, let's look at, so that's the birder.
Yes.
You pick it up. I'm afraid of that. So that's really getting up close and personal.
This is a Tamron 150 to 600 zoom, and this would be for somebody who is interested in snowy owls or whatever kind of subject matter that doesn't allow you to get close to it. Your kid plays a field sport, this would be the kind of
And you rent
lens.
it. Just
we rent
to try
it
it out.
and sell it.
Oh, and sell it too, yes.
Yeah, the other
right.
ones is, can I talk about these
sure,
for just
absolutely.
a sec? So, you know, when you buy one of these cameras, you get a base lens with it, but the accessory lenses are something that users will look forward to. And often they're called these prime lenses. Look at this. This is an 85 millimeter fixed lens. It's super sharp. I mean, this is the kind of thing that a pro is going to use to do a headshot and you know, be able to deliver a poster size or just a really finely detailed photograph.
So there's still, we still want good pictures. You can put all the filters you want to on them on your iPhone. It's still not the same thing.
Well, listen, iPhones do a fantastic job. But where they don't maybe come through is with the long telephoto work or the reproduction quality. People still want to make prints, so in my world, we're still making a lot of prints. And if you want to make something larger format or crop it, right, so just get a smaller part of the frame rather than the whole thing, it's not going to hold together with the iPhone. With this, it will. These are cameras of different formats.
Are these point and shoot? What are these?
Well, these are what we call DSLRs, digital single lens reflex cameras. And the big deal is that the lens comes off, right? And you can put another lens on it. And this isn't new. These cameras have been around for, 60, 70 years. But of course, what's new is that, hey, no film. There's a chip in there. And all of these cameras are a new trend in our industry, which is exciting, called mirrorless. So they don't have that mirror that flaps up and down inside of the camera. And what that means is they're quiet, they're light, they're fast, they're very clever in how they can record still and video. And the image quality is really superb.
Do you teach how to take pictures? Do you have classes?
We do. We've taught classes from the beginning, and this is a program that we're very proud of. I've got a meetup group that's got like 5,000 people in it.
Wow.
And started in 2014. And we have group classes. We have meetups, walkabouts, product demos, lighting workshops, and we do a lot of personal lessons too.
What jazzes you to take pictures of when you have downtime, if you have any? What do you love taking pictures of?
Well, I love people photography, and a lot of the people that I gravitate to are photographers that work on the street. I think that that kind of work is...
Nothing posed, just kind of gritty stuff?
Well, I mean, I don't get a chance to do that too much. But just folks living on the street, just, recording humanity. I think that that's an integral part of who we are. I think that's why we buy cameras and take selfies with our camera phones. So, I think people are a fantastic subject, and we should pay more attention to each other.
Yes, we should, and we should have more conversations. All right, what are these guys over here?
Oh, sure, yeah. So I brought these little remote flashes. This is a big part of photography, of course, lighting. We've got all these lights here to make us look the way, we do. And with still cameras as well, this technology has gotten a lot easier to use, where you can get these satellite flashes that won't go off, and you can create a small little portrait studio in your home or your garage or whatever you might want to put some people and photograph them. So it's really pretty cool. This used to be just the prerogative of a professional photographer, but now anybody can get into it, and we'll show you how it works. And it's moderately priced stuff.
So when a person walks in the door, let's say Monday through Friday, what's the bulk of your business, or is it all kinds of things that are going on now?
Yeah, we do many things. So it's hard goods sales, obviously. And all the etc., the lighting, the bags, the straps, all the accessories for, again, the hobbyist who might want to fill up her camera bag with gadgets, great gadgets. But also there's the imaging and processing. I mean, I think I've got about 15, 16 employees, and I'd say half of them are given over to, in my graphics department or in my mini lab my video transfer department, my custom framing department. So there's that side of the business.
You do it all. You frame it, you bring the picture, whatever it is you need. Now, you brought up video imaging. You're transferring a lot of that stuff that people have in their homes?
It's amazing. Every year we look at the department and say, well, when will it slack off? When will the VHS tapes stop coming? They don't stop coming. It's just amazing how much video is out there, yeah, on that level.
Oh my gosh.
And slides, old 35mm slides, you know.
That's my parents' whole house. It's
Right.
35mm slides that we'll never see again unless we get it on video.
I was the first child, so there's hundreds and hundreds of slides.
Those little dishes, the round discs.
Oh, sure, yeah, the Kodak carousels,
yes.
or, you know, but they're all stacked. So we still see, I don't know, 10,000 of those a year.
Wow.
That we transfer.
So that keeps things going. What about, do people actually come in and give you film? And how many people do that still?
Well, yeah, it's funny. We had a machine go down back in the spring. And we were down, the machine had actually processed the roll of film. So we scrambled around. It was quite a story. Found another machine, installed the thing. But we're still down for a couple of weeks. Now, if that had been, 15 years ago, that would have been something else. It would have been a disaster. But as it was just a bit of an inconvenience. We ended up with about 120 rolls in about a 2.5-week period.
Really?
Yeah. So there's still film out there, black and white and color, but nothing like it used to be.
Right. What in running your place, what are you most surprised about in 2020 now as a business owner of a camera shop?
Well, what I'm very happy about is my crew. You know, I've got a great bunch of people, and I like to think I've always worked with good people. What I'm excited about is I've got some younger people involved, and I think that's important. They can't all just look like me. We need a little bit of a youth movement in our industry.
Sure.
And I'm seeing that. I just did a workshop. It's actually just sort of a meet and greet a week or so ago with some local photographers in New Haven. Everybody's very young, 30 to 40 folks that I was really just very happy to be part of. And we're going to continue to develop those relationships.
So maybe they're going back to the past to find the future. I think there's some of that going on.
Future, past, whatever they're looking for, I hope they think of me when it comes to photography.
We do, Milford Photo. Jesse, thank you so much for being here and enlightening all of us and me about what you're doing in Milford.
Ann, thank you very much.
You bet.
Spend all night kissing and the bump is right here, then who else is missing? Got a little sidetracked, we found us a witch and we found the keys to the door, but it's also a metaphor. Need to keep locked in the grocery store, but mine just to save time. Skip right ahead to the last ride.